So let's come to the next talk. It's all about digitalization and that you can't that digital transformation is something your boss has to make. And the boss who's going to talk to you about this is the general manager of IBM Germany. It's Matthias Hartmann. Welcome. Thank you. Well, self-driving cars, intelligent factories, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, the blockchain. It seems like the possibility of the digitalization are endless. But why do so many people why are so many people afraid of these technologies and the data? Data is a phenomenon of our time. It's a new resource, and every new thing happening is seen in the data concept. Data from social media, from artificial intelligence, from voice recognition, from complex systems connected to each other. But why is this promise of big data not really completely firing? I think because the people don't have a trust in this. A diesel scandal, fake news, politicians. This causes a crisis in trust, and data is good and bad in both. On the one hand, it makes our life completely convenient. We use them every day. They make stuff easier, and we handle it completely natural. On the other hand, there's the fear of abuse, of data scandals, from the fear to my private sphere, and how companies use this data. But this is actually the trust that working together in politics, in society, and everyone else so important. And I think without trust, the whole topic of artificial intelligence, the blockchain, the cloud, the internet can't really be based on a firm ground. And in this country, missing trust is really toxic if you want to do stuff. Why is it so? Because many people not always understand things on the first sight. The world, and not only Moore's laws and the processor technology, this also applies to many other areas like battery technology, solar technology. But you have to transfer this to people, and it's not easy. We are not thinking linear, we're not thinking exponential. And in the beginning, we see how fast technology is evolving. It seems so easy. We come to the office on the Monday, nothing changed. 1 changes to 2, to 4, to 8, to 16. These are not really big numbers. In the beginning, we are hyping all this technology, But in the end, as soon as it scales and it's possible to use it in a big scale, we underestimate these platforms and the technologies. I want to show you this on an easy example. If I am on the stage and I make 30 steps on a linear basis, then you will think, yeah, well, she makes about 30 meters or something. But if I make these 30 steps on an exponential basis, only few of you would be quick enough how much way I can make. This is the power. This is the power of exponential technology. And we over and underestimate all this. And we have to show people what happens, and we have to make rules to recreate trust. Without trust, no digital innovation. The trust is a really tiny little plant. As soon as you destroy it, it doesn't come better. That's a quote from Otto von Bismarck. So that's why I want to look at this topic from different perspectives, from my own, from the people in the management who have to transfer information, but also from the perspective of transfer of trust and the management topics and how to position yourself. And on third place, from a society, from the politics that has to make the basis for this. And for me, the most interesting topic, we got stuff from Brussels, from the Commission, the strategy on artificial intelligence in Europe. In Europe, we need a strong economy that needs to have the right basis for artificial intelligence. And we, as IBM, we take part of this process, and we make our standpoints with our implementation Watson, with our KI platform, pretty obvious. Our customers, they keep their data. Secondly, we as a company don't want to use the data to have some better stand.
It means we don't have a model, we don't commercialize these data that we're gathering. What comes with that and goes along with that is if we help people build up an online streaming platform, for example, with the help of cloud and AI, we don't just build our own offer for online streaming. That cancels each other out, in our opinion. We don't use the data without consent of our clients. That is very important because the quality of data to be used in algorithms is essential. And fourth, we make transparent what data we use and where it comes from. And overall, we make it transparent how our algorithms work. If we take more and more responsibility and put it into platforms and algorithms, we have to have a framework and a level of trust, how we get to the results, and we have to make them transparent. It's often discussed and debated if AI is going to take over the world. I think that's nonsense. We see Watson, we don't see him as a terminator of the human. We don't see him as a substitute of humans. We see him as a helping hand to humans. Watson helps humans and companies to make stuff better. Yes, to automate, but also to see completely new aspects, to help people, cancer patients, for example. This is one of the results that research has shown, and that's why we believe that AI is not going to come up with its own conscious. We're just going to implement it in a lot of projects and ideas. And yes, we believe that new technology needs state guidance and enforcement of the GDPR on 25th of May, from our standpoint, is a good development. A lot of people are afraid and fear that it will ruin business models and the use and the usability of big data will be limited. We as IBM don't believe that. We think that this law leaves enough possibilities to give civilians what they need, privatization of their data, and the anonymization is in their sense and idea. And I think that's how we used to work. It's important to protect people's personal right and not invade their privacy, and to orient technological development around the law guides. And I mean, like, we're an American company, but the German branch, like, we're older even than the mother concern, the mother firm in America, and that's why we deal a lot of stuff with German clients, and like that's why we promise our German clients that the data that we're processing in Frankfurt is going to stay in German grounds. Data responsibility is a lot more than just a slogan that we put out there. I mean, it is also it's a code of honor for us. All sounds rather theoretical. Let's look at a concrete example. 2 weeks ago in Berlin, Dr. Baas from the Techniker Healthcare and me introduced a project that's called TK Safe of the Techniker Krankenkasse Safe. It's an app with the possibility to show a clients' health data safely and securely, and we obviously handle this data with double encryption. And more importantly, we also, for the first time, use the power, and we give the power to the person who's insured, because he is the only one who decides if the results from one doctor can be shown to another doctor. It's a decision of the patient itself and the one that's insured, and not the insurer or IBM. If you switch a doctor, the data stays with wherever you as a patient want to go, and you can take your history wherever you want to go. And that doesn't exist up to now. And the central criteria for the user at this point is that my data is safe and I am the one who's the owner of this data and not a big company or firm. That's why we don't see this data not in clear names. We only see it encrypted, and we only see the data seller. I think it's important in an ecosystem that you have to have trust between state, companies, and civilians, and the civil society. And we all have our future subjects, and we all have them within technology that we have to make them available by that. The cloud is our basis for AI, for blockchain, and for the future of computing, for the quantum computer. Let's look at two short examples. The blockchain is a technology that makes it possible to have safe transactions. Even competitions in the market can work together based on blockchain, and they can build a level of trust amongst each other. The harbor in Rotterdam is going to be the smartest harbor in Europe. We're going to connect all market players together with the harbor via blockchain and the use of AI. And that's how we make the harbor safer. We create more productivity and more productivity in the dealing of processes. I mean, it's really about making this technology productive. Another example is Simon. Simon is a crew interactive mobile companion that Airbus has created with the LMU in Munich and IBM as an AI-based assistant for the astronauts as part of the ESA. And while in the following year or this year, during the Horizons missions, the German astronaut Alexander Gertz is going to go to space, and Watson is going to come with him as a flying brain and is going to accompany him to space. He is going to be connected with the cloud, and he's going to be in direct dialogue and is hopefully going to work sweet and easy next to Alexander Gerst. Today, all of this is already reality, but it's important to set the groundwork, what's going to be happening in the future. Because what's happening in the future is really got something. It's got some oomph. So when we build systems that in half a day are going to be able to unencrypt the encryption of every key, we have to really talk about trust. We need a framework on the side of the civil society and the state. We have to have clear guidelines by which companies have to be applied. And within the management layer, we have to really do this dialogue with the people who work for our companies. How do we transmit what happens by the influence of this technology? What happens when something is being automated? How do we deal with the colleagues who potentially have to change what they're doing because what they're doing is going to be done by an AI? The first answer is be brave, be open, and be transparent, because I think it is possible to already predict which markets are going to be impacted by automation. So I think it is important today to have honesty and bravery and deal with the tough questions. And I think it is important to enable people to handle this technology. And this it's not something that shouldn't start in companies. That's something that needs to start, and that's something that we've realized much too late that it has to start within school and the universities. Create transparency and qualify people, enable them. Technology like this does not stop at a country's borders, and that's why we have to bring technology to the people, and it's people who bring the innovations. For us, this means that we have to invest in research and development that we've done in Germany and Switzerland, and 660 patents have been brought about from these two labs. I think now is the last time where we can start a dialogue between the civilians and the companies, where we have to have a dialogue on the context of trust data, and we need to have a consent that we don't have at the moment. We, you and me, can, as civilians, have actual impact. Nobody should be surprised if you offer unencrypted data that you're opening up your back door for abuse and misconduct. We have to have the societal framework, how the society wants to deal with this data. Scenarios of fear are not helping in this. The human's worth is untouchable. Is the worth of an AI untouchable? I don't personally think so. Every technological jump, we have to balance and have to create rules, fair rules, because too soon, regulation that happens too soon is also not good in the innovation process. So as a company, we also have to show our colors. We talk a lot about social responsibility. I think we have to talk about corporate social digital responsibility. Do we have clear standards of how we handle data? Do we have clear standards how we use anonymous data? I believe that the framework that we have currently and that is introduced right now is right and important. Us as a company are clearly setting these standards and making them public. It's our theme, let's put smart to work. And we really would have no problem to come forth in the political dialogue.
And we're here for more than 100 years, and we are part of the German society. Let's do it.